Welcome to Concept in Medicine. In today's tutorial, we are going to be looking at the Bohr's effect versus the Haldane effect. With these, we are going to be comparing the two effects. So let's start by looking at the Bohr's effect. Bohr's effect in simple terms means that an increase in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide causes the right shift of the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. And when we say right shift of the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve, it tells you that the liberation of oxygen from hemoglobin. Anytime you have a dissociation curve going to the right, it means there will be liberation of that particular gas. So when we are saying causing the right shift of the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve, we are actually referring to the liberation of the oxygen from the hemoglobin. Anytime you hear right shift in a dissociation curve, know that it is referring to the liberation of that particular gas. So high levels of carbon dioxide forces hemoglobin to liberate oxygen to the tissues. That is what we are talking about as the Bohr effect. And in another term, we can also say that the high partial pressure of carbon dioxide would cause an increase in the level of 2,3-biphosphoglycerate. And this compound is found in red blood cells. And if the levels of 2,3-biphosphoglycerate goes high, it means that the 2,3-biphosphoglycerate will be binding to the hemoglobin, and the moment it binds to the hemoglobin, it automatically reduces the affinity of hemoglobin for what? Oxygen, meaning that oxygen will then be effectively liberated to the tissues. And that constitutes the Bohr's effect. Let's move ahead and talk about the Haldane's effect. For the Haldane effect, simply an increase in the partial pressure of oxygen causes the right shift of the carbon dioxide dissociation curve. If you remember very carefully, we said that anytime we are saying right shift of a particular dissociation curve, it simply means the liberation of that particular gas. So in this case, in the presence of high concentration of oxygen, carbon dioxide will be effectively liberated. It means that the affinity of hemoglobin for carbon dioxide will drastically reduce, liberating the carbon dioxide out of the tissues and probably out of what? The lungs during the process of expiration. So with this, we can break it down by looking at the Haldane's effect with a particular eye view. And with that, we will say that at consistent partial pressures of carbon dioxide, the Haldane effect states that oxygenated blood will carry less carbon dioxide than deoxygenated blood due to the combination of the impaired ability of the hemoglobin to buffer the excess carbon dioxide, and also due to the reduced capacity of the hemoglobin's cap amino carriage. If I say cap amino carriage, I'm referring to the carriage of what? Carbon dioxide, because we said that previously that when carbon dioxide binds to hemoglobin, it forms what? Cap amino hemoglobin. And we said it's called cap amino hemoglobin because it is binding to the amino terminal of the hemoglobin. So in effect, the application of the Haldane's effect when it comes to the excretion of carbon dioxide from the body is when you get to the lungs and you have carbon dioxide binding to hemoglobin, forming cap amino hemoglobin, which occurs in 10% of cases, and the majority is going to be excreted through the blood in the form of bicarbonate until it gets to the lungs. What are we talking about here? We are saying that with the Haldane effect, when you get to the lung, oxygen concentration is very high, and the oxygen concentration being very high decreases the affinity of hemoglobin to carbon dioxide by making the hemoglobin what? Acidic. And with that, causing the liberation of carbon dioxide from the hemoglobin into the alveoli for it to be excreted via the process of expiration. So in simple terms, the Bohr's effect and the Haldane's effect are composite. If we take the Bohr's effect, we are saying that increase in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide causes the right shift of the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve, meaning liberation of oxygen. But if we talk about the Haldane's effect, We are talking about increase in the partial pressure of oxygen causes the right shift of the carbon dioxide dissociation curve, meaning liberation of carbon dioxide. I believe we've learned something new today. Thank you very much for staying through the lesson. Kindly make sure to subscribe, share, and also like my channel. And do not forget to comment the next concept you would like to see on my channel in the commentary section. My name is Dr. Adele, and this is Concept in Medicine. Bye-bye.